We know Manhattan is home to some pricey real estate. Try
Understatement.
$100 million for an apartment. The most expensive apartment sold for a massive $88 million, but an American was not the buyer. We know that doesn't shock you, and we know this won't. It was a wealthy Russian. He is not the only one. Many Russians are spending big bucks on Big Apple real estate to protect their cash from Europe's financial crisis.
That's right. But why does New York City look so desirable? Well, joining us now is New York real estate lawyer Edward Mermelstein, managing partner at Rheem, Bell and Mermelstein. Edward, thanks for being here. So why Manhattan? Because it's not exactly cheap, to Liz's point.
Well, thank you for having me. Today, Manhattan is cheap in comparison to London, in comparison to Moscow and many other major cities. We're a value, and the rest of the world, especially in Europe, while things are heading in a different direction, we're doing quite well. So I see New York, especially representative of the United States in many good ways, doing exceptionally well for foreign investors coming here to look at our properties.
Right, and there is a very large Russian community, but I don't think that the oligarchs really want to go down to Coney Island and hang out in Brooklyn. They are here to be at the top of the penthouse world, and you, being of Russian descent, are somebody who they come to. You have handled most of the biggest, or many of the biggest Russian deals. What did they tell you, and when did they really start to plow money in? Because they were also putting their money in Cypriot banks, and then we had the problem in Cyprus. Were they moving that money earlier than the Cyprus bank problem, and was it into U.S. real estate?
Well, many have been looking at the United States as a way to diversify their portfolio, but we have seen quite a bit of increased activity in the last year. And I would say in the last 6 months, it's increased even more so. Much of it had to do with what was going on in Greece, but the anticipation of problems in Cyprus expanded in the last few months.
So, Edward, look, 88 million, that's a lot for anyone. But what's the typical price? What price range are you looking at for these Russian buyers?
Well, today's sweet spot has increased, and primarily because of these large deals happening over the last several years. But typically, we're seeing deals between $5 and $10 million, and that's considered normal for these foreign buyers.
Do they always pay cash?
It has been very much cash deals, and again, that's because it's normal from where they're coming from. Equity is used to buy 100% rather than looking at mortgaging properties. That's not typical where they're coming from.
What do they tell you they want? Do they want a real platinum building, one that has great provenance, one that has a great name to it?
They're looking primarily for the best locations and the best buildings in those locations, and some of the new construction that we're seeing right now is very much what they're desiring.
What do they do with them, Edward? Are they living in them? Are they buying them as an investment, somewhere to put their money? I mean, what are they doing with them?
These are people that have homes all over the world. So they'll have a London location, they'll have a location in the south of France and other major cities. So New York is just another desirable area for them, and they're looking for like in kind, the best location that they can afford.
Edward Mermelstein is realtor to the oligarchs. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure that's very lucrative too, Edward. Very good.